So here we are. This is the first episode of Double Dipping. Joined here today by roommate and good friend William Loptson.
Good to chat, Dippy. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's I think this is gonna be fun. Just getting to do this a while. Will, you'll be joining me a lot.
Yeah, I hope so.
On this, yeah.
I'm very excited to be joining you on this podcast endeavor.
No, I think it's gonna be a good time. We're just gonna get some other guests in here too, but for our nice little start, we're gonna start here with Will, and Will's gonna be coming in every once in a while and
yeah, why not?
doing
Totally.
it. And
I'm always happy to come on. So just give me a shout.
yeah, absolutely.
Literally.
I'm gonna drag him into this shit.
Yeah.
All the time.
Just force me to do it.
Yeah, no, it'll be
I
forced.
won't say no.
I'll just drag him from across the hall, and we'll.
Or I might say
pull
no,
him in.
but
Well, I mean, he can't say no.
I know. It is what it is.
He's unable to say no.
Yeah.
So, Will, how are you doing today? How's it
doing
going?
Fantastic. I am currently shirking my school responsibilities.
Nice.
I'll be doing all my shit tomorrow. Had a great workout with Mr. Harry, and the sauna was great. Workout was great. Walk was great. Can't complain.
Yeah, you hit the gym and the sauna with Harry several times on a weekly basis.
Yeah, well, so the sauna, not every time, but it's very... It feels amazing, and it's apparently very beneficial to sauna for the gym.
Yeah, I'm not a big sauna guy myself.
Is it because it's too dry, or you just don't like being hot?
I just don't like. I don't like being hot. Like, I don't like being too warm. It's like I just. No, I don't like it.
You know what you'd probably like is cold plunge after either a sauna or a steam
Like
room.
the ice bath.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly, because then you probably feel like shit exiting the sauna, and then once you get into the cold plunge,
It feels very refreshing.
Very, very
That's interesting. Do they wouldn't have that?
not at the Good Life.
No.
But you could simulate it with a cold shower.
Okay.
The only issue is that it's really hard. It, like, instinctively, when people shower, you want to make the water warm.
I feel like you get a little of the cold.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you can push through that initial shock, it's so nice.
Like, how pissed do you think they'd be if I brought my own, like, big Rubbermaid container?
I think they wouldn't be able to stop you.
Really?
Well, I don't think you could. Well, because they have a dial to get in. So I don't
like
think
a
you'd
turnstile.
Yeah, turnstile. That's the word. That you wouldn't be able to get in.
Okay.
But if you were like, "Hey, I have a condition. I need this.
A condition.
Can you open the emergency door?" They'd be like, "Sure."
That seems like a lot of hassle.
It would be a lot.
Well, because then I'm still filling it up with the cold water they have, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm not just
Yeah.
like also bringing bags of ice in. With
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Which they don't have ice, but.
No.
But honestly, no. I there's tons of places, especially in Toronto, like spas and stuff. I've yet to go.
Right, because you're from Toronto.
I am from Toronto.
You're a Toronto boy.
I am a Toronto man's. Wallahi fam. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
You can cut that out.
No, I don't. I don't understand the reference.
It's very common Toronto slang that. Toronto slang is like a weird mix of British slang, American slang, and also it has its own stuff in there too.
Interesting.
It's very, very interesting. Very
See, because
odd.
I was in Calgary for a bunch of years, but I don't think we ever had our like specific slang.
Well, how old were you when you?
I wasn't
were
very
in
old.
Calgary?
So like I was there from I was 10 or 9 to 13.
Okay, that's maybe then. Maybe.
So like I just didn't like have anything that was like specifically Calgary slang. Like it was mostly just like the slang that kids had used at the time. Like just that's very universal.
Internet slang, basically.
Yeah, internet slang is
Yeah.
essentially the thing at the time.
No, but you've lived in a lot of places.
I have, man.
Yeah.
I've been all over. Was born in Calgary and then off to Mississauga. Yeah.
Cringe.
Yeah. Well, my sister. That's where my sister was born. She was born in Mississauga, and then from Mississauga to Fall River, Nova Scotia.
Nice. Yeah.
We spent many a year, and then back to Calgary, of course.
For sure.
Only to return to Fall River.
We got Nina's in the chat.
Oh my god!
Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend Nina, whom I love.
Wow.
With all my
you know,
heart.
maybe one of these days we'll get Nina on the podcast.
Well, if you were here for reading week, you'd
Wow, you're
probably
gonna throw that
happily
at me. Eh?
come on.
So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to be here for reading week.
Well, you know what? It's worth it to go see family.
Yeah, you know, it is nice to be able to go home being here a lot of the time. But having a remote guest is not a terrible idea.
You could do it. The thing is that you could definitely do it. It's just you use Discord or Skype or whatever.
Yeah, it's some sort of I want the face. Yeah,
you could do that honestly.
It's easy because you could do that Discord. You could do pull a 2020. Pull up the Zoom.
I was gonna say I could do it from your setup. Just be like, I am Dippy McSkippy.
Yeah, you're just gonna host it.
And then be like, I'm getting a call, and it'll be you. It'd be kind of goofy.
That would, you just host one episode.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Well, see, the problem with that is
you'd need your computer.
I need to leave my computer and shit.
And then it's how do you even do it?
I'm not doing that.
That's the thing is, I have a nice Acer laptop, Asus, not Acer. So it really doesn't do streaming.
No, well, this isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a game or anything. It's just. But then I also have actually imagine most of it's gonna stay.
Yeah, I mean,
because I've been doing this semester. We're both of us were trying to get more on the grind.
Yes, because we were not very studious.
We were not on the grind last semester.
No, not at all.
But this semester we're trying to go for the grind. So there's been certainly less streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this new double dipping here.
I think it's a good way to kind of sort of have meetups and just be like,
yeah, absolutely. Try to get in all kinds of different people.
Yeah, and talk about all kinds of different shit.
All kinds of different shit, man. Speaking of different shit.
Yes.
Had you seen? Because this is something I wanted to talk about. We're both big Star Wars guys.
We are.
And had you seen the new Bad Batch trailer?
I have not.
Well, Will.
And will I be excited for it?
We're gonna watch it right now.
Okay.
We're gonna watch the Bad Batch trailer. I'm pulling this up right now.
Interesting.
Boop.
Oh, I just saw a YouTube video.
Yeah, no.
A YouTube thumbnail that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So.
So that's interesting.
We'll see here.
We probably have the same topic then to talk about.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for this. Bop. Oh.
Trying to see if you can get the.
No, it's there we go.
Ooh.
Nope. Opening the video first would have been a good.
Oh, idea. Final season. Okay.
Yeah, no. Which is nice that they've popped it out as the final season. So it's not it'll just get canceled. The Clone Wars is canceled. It didn't really ever have a good wrap up before they finished it, and that's why you have all the books and stuff.
I appreciate the. When shows are able to say, "Hey, this is the final season," rather than "This is the 4th season," and then it's
that's it.
That's it.
Or they're you could do one more season.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, or the thing where they're you can do one more season, and they have to rush everything they have planned in the last season. And it wasn't all that good. And I know, Ted Lasso. You've never seen Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso suffered from that just a little bit. Ted Lasso is incredible, but it did suffer from that just a tad.
Okay.
The 3rd season is it's still the best season in my opinion, but I mean
it could have been better.
It could have been better. If they did a 3 and a 4. Yeah. It could have been really good. Anyway, here's the Bad Batch trailer.
It's loading. Is that a little Sonic for your loading screen?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's Sonic the
really
Hedgehog.
Cool.
I don't know why.
I found the Wi-Fi's been shit recently.
Not exactly a stealth exit, boys. Let's move.
I thought at the end of the war, we'd meet an end to losing more of our brothers. I was wrong. We can't just walk away. Not with the Empire imprisoning the kid. Secure her in a cell. Omega's been waiting for us a long time. Our mission is not over yet. There is nothing of greater importance to secure the future of this empire. Whatever is needed to accomplish this goal, you will have it. They are coming.
Oh.
All of you. Give us a real challenge. Everyone down! We're not big on following orders.
I wasn't planning on killing you, but you're making it very tempting.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like they're probably gonna do a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like they're doing a lot. They released the little bit of technical difficulties, but it's fine. We're back at it.
Yeah. Yep. Just watched the Bad Batch trailer.
Yeah, the Bad Batch trailer.
Not sure when it got cut off, but it seems very exciting, actually.
Well, because obviously the biggest thing in that was Ventress.
Yes, because I haven't watched it. I like to, for especially for the Disney shows and the Star Wars shows, is I like to wait for them to be done. So I'm in hindsight, like it's kind of weird because it's like, oh, I'm glad for it to be done. It's wrapping up. I get to watch it.
Yeah.
But also like, oh, maybe I wanted more content. You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough.
Well,
but I am very excited.
I know, like for like Mando, if you're waiting for Mando to end, like
That's gonna take a while,
dude, and that's gonna take a while.
I am doing that.
A lot of other shows are Mando dependent. Like you need to watch like, I know for
I don't love when things do.
well, because it's 2 seasons of Mando, Boba Fett, season 3 of Mando, Ahsoka. That's what it is right now.
Okay, I watched Rebels, so Ahsoka should be fine, but I still should probably watch.
Well, yeah, I suppose you don't really need to watch all the Mando to get to the Ahsoka shit, but like it's much better to be able to.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited for
Yeah,
the
well,
Bad Batch to wrap up and for me to watch it.
I know a lot of people were a little upset.
That it's wrapping up?
No, about Ventress.
Because she's supposed to be dead.
Because she's dead, right? Because we were talking before that the Clone Wars didn't have a proper wrap up.
Because she dies in the Clone Wars.
She dies in the Clone Wars, but not in the show. Because she was originally supposed to before it got canceled.
Yes.
But it was in a book.
It was that whole story with Quinlan Vos, right?
Yeah,
like,
Quinlan Vos.
Turns to the dark side, works for Dooku, Ventress.
And then she saves him from Dooku.
Yeah.
And, takes a whole blast of Force lightning, and she dies. And now they've said that she's going to... Everything that happens in the Bad Batch is going to be loyal to what happens in that book. So, I think it's going to be cloning.
Maybe.
Because a lot of the influence, especially like what Palpatine was saying in the trailer, which that is Ian McDiarmid.
Yes. That's very exciting.
Because at one point it was Sam Witwer, but he's great too.
Yeah, probably,
but that is Ian McDiarmid, which is great. But yeah, so he's going to be doing that, but it's going to be cloning. Because it seems to be talking about, right, because they are going to use it as a backdoor.
Because they just want to keep on making the sequels.
Makes sense.
Okay.
But
what I will say,
they can make good content on their way to there.
What I will say, I am very much as I didn't like the sequels, want them to continue the story forward.
Yeah.
I think right now Disney Star Wars is doing a lot of filling in the gaps, which is fine. There's a lot of gaps to fill.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know what happens next, because everything wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
So like,
well, we're getting that. We're getting the. Well, there's also like, there's gap filling and there's like story explanation, but they're also getting like the 40 years or.
That's it's
like,
a massive amount of time.
Like that's like a whole new story. So like the stuff they're doing with Thrawn and stuff, but you're also going to be getting the movie that's set, I don't know, like 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
I remember hearing about that. I'm very excited.
Because that's Daisy Ridley, Rey. She was basically like, yeah, I wasn't going to come back if it was bad. Like, she was like, if it was something like what we had done before, or they didn't show me the script and I didn't know what I was doing, I was just signed on to do a movie and I basically show up and then I start doing shit.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not going to do this.
No, I can appreciate that.
But she said they showed her the script.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm in.
Well, that's
which
the thing.
It's nice to see now, because that was their biggest issue, is I feel like they didn't really have a plan.
I think the actors got so much hate. And it was like, the actors, I think, did a great job.
Yeah.
It's the writers. And I don't remember who it was, but someone on the production team for Solo, like, tweeted out, oh yeah, the movie failed because, new actors weren't as good. Like the writers or the producer or someone kind of put it on the actors, and it's like no, the actors
in Solo were great.
Mm-hmm.
It was there's certainly
but that's just how she goes. Writers are a pesky bunch.
They are.
Yeah.
They're a pesky bunch. But at least they're getting paid what they're supposed to now.
Yeah. Have you been reading the main Spider-Man run at all?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well,
'cause I've been kind of tuning in and out.
If I'm understanding what's happening in the main Spider-Man run right now, it's like MJ and Peter aren't together.
Yes. Which I don't have a problem with. But do you know what happened or not?
Yeah,
really?
she's dating, I forget his name.
Paul.
Yeah, it's Paul. She's dating Paul, who's like the self-insert of the writer.
Yeah. It's like so obvious too that he's the self-insert and
like that's problematic. Like you can't have that.
A little bit. It's just I will say like it feels like Spider-Man comics like barring which one was it? Maybe the Ultimate series? Like, Spider-Man writers love making him miserable. Which I get it. I think that there's a time and place for Spider-Man to be miserable, but also, like, come on, man.
He's got to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's rough. But, like, if I'm sure right now, there is no mainline Spider-Man right now.
Oh.
Like, I think it wrapped up. Because I know MJ has her own series now. She has superpowers. And she's jackpot.
You told me about that, yeah.
And now, like, they're doing the Ultimate Spider-Man again. So they're, like, off in the new Ultimate Universe where it's, like, Spider-Man never got his powers and now he's getting them and he's, like, 30.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, that's cool.
I don't have an issue with
and
that.
it's a really cool world where, like, the vast majority, if not all superheroes, don't have their powers. They're not superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is a priest. He's not Daredevil. And I don't believe he's blind. No, he
for now.
He is. No, I think he is blind.
Yeah.
They just like you're gonna need to be Daredevil, a superhero. And he's like, oh, that's great, man. Yeah, I want to be. Oh, my eyes.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Yeah, it's just
that's how it goes.
Oh man, because they're supposed to be like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther. Like all of these people are just gonna be coming out of nowhere, and just becoming superheroes like 20 years after they're supposed to.
Yeah, I think comics are kind of starting to wise up about doing the same stories over and over again. They're kind of starting to be like, maybe we should have things change. Like especially like the mainline DC comics right now. Like,
well, I know like the
Nightwing
run is so different. Like they need to change things up, and it needs to be. I know DC did the biggest thing where there is no Justice League.
That I'm kind of happy to hear about that.
Like, because the Justice League was... I mean, they're the Justice League.
Listen, yeah, I love the stories where you have a massive Justice League full of, like, more heroes than you know their names. But also I like the stories where maybe there is no Justice League, you know?
But, so right now there was it was Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Because they've done a Crisis on Infinite Earths so many times.
Yeah.
They just had to, they keep throwing different words in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But this one was, like, the Justice League was, like, killed. But like they were really thrown into their own little pocket dimensions, and it was really complicated. But it ended up being that there was no Justice League on Earth, and basically the new Superman, who's Superman's son John, and Dick Grayson, Nightwing, they had to come together and they had to basically start their own league and stop who was causing this crisis. And it ended up being where everyone was like, well, John has to lead. He's Superman. He has to, he's going to lead this up. He's the most powerful of us. But, like, he didn't want to.
Yeah.
And, what was that? I didn't...
Because he got some follows.
It's a follow from...
Oh, Taylor, yeah.
Taylor.
A friend of Nina's.
Oh, it's a friend of Nina's.
Yeah.
So, Nightwing ended up taking over, and he ended up running, this whole thing, and he ended up running it through the Titans instead of being the Justice League, because... They're all like, the Justice League is dead. But they ended up facing it, and it was like Nightwing was tempted by a Deathstroke who was like, he was possessed by this evil thing, and he defeated him. And at the end, Batman was like, no, the Justice League's not coming back. Like, we're not dead. Like, we're here, but Dick, you saved us. Yeah. You're the next thing. And it's always been that, like, yeah, Nightwing's going to be the next for so long.
That's one thing I love about... It's kind of like the comics industries, they're sort of getting wiser to, like, why Japan's sort of manga industry is still good and the comics are kind of dying down, is that you need a story to...
It needs to progress. And that's the thing with the DC Comics is every 15 years, they just do, like, a reboot. Yeah. And, like, that's not helpful. That doesn't let your characters progress, but they're finally letting them. Like, the main stories that are happening in the DC world right now are led by the Titans. Mm-hmm. And I'm all for a DC world that's led by Nightwing. Because I love Nightwing.
No, Nightwing's the GOAT. I love Nightwing. I think he is in the DCAU, they just break his shoulder every movie. If you rewatch it and you count how many times he broke his shoulder and took a shot, I don't think you'd be conscious.
Wouldn't be okay?
No.
Well, if it's once per movie, it's like a shot every hour and a half, I feel like.
I suppose, but
fine.
It might be more than once a movie.
Jesus.
It's kind of crazy.
Well,
it's kind of absurd, to be honest.
Well, I'm very happy that we're heading into a world where Nightwing is...
respected?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Did you ever read Deceased?
No.
Okay.
No, I wasn't...
that was good.
I wasn't really into the Deceased.
That was very good. It wrapped up. It was very, very good.
No, I know...
No, they had Damian as Batman.
Really?
Damian became Batman.
I'm not a big Damian Batman guy.
Well, it's because Bruce was dead.
Well, I mean, sure.
And Dick, and... Well, he ended up, like, sacrificing himself to save the world.
Oh, okay. So, like, he's no
the
longer...
only Bat family
like
member that lives is Alfred. Yeah, he's an adult.
Well, that's the other thing that's going on in DC right now. Alfred's dead.
Yeah.
So, like...
Bane.
Like, he is dead. And it's not like Alfred's dead, like... And he's like, he just comes back. But, like... It's been a big thing because Dick also...
Dick inherited his money. I remember hearing
he inherited, all
he died
of his
a little
money.
bit of time ago, didn't he?
He did.
It's kind of been...
It's been
over a year.
Yeah, it's been definitely over a year.
Yeah, like, it's... I don't know.
I mean, comic time works weird, though.
Yeah.
Especially, like, an issue a month. Mm-hmm. It's very confusing.
Yeah, a lot of stuff sometimes happens. Sometimes you get stuff that happens off screen, and then sometimes it's, like, picks up right where you left off.
Yeah, it's...
Which I think... manga has that issue too, but usually
it's the difficulty when doing this kind of thing. Like, if you want to keep doing it where, like, you just go issue by issue as a day by day by day, I mean, we'd still be in the 70s, you know?
Yeah. That was what was it? I saw it was a Spider-Man comic, I think, where it was like Marvel, where the premise is like they aged sort of normally. So Peter Parker became Spider-Man in the 70s. And was Spider-Man all that time, and then Miles became Spider-Man, like, in the more modern era. Yeah. And you have, like, an old man Peter, not old man, but, like, older.
Yeah, like, he was 16 in the 70s, like, so he's an older guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that sort of concept is something they never get at. Like, you'll see it in TV, just because, actors are people. But.
It's because, like, I find that a lot of the times, one of the big differences, I think, with manga and with comics is that with comics, you're not really there for the writers. You're not there for the story necessarily. You're there for, I want to read about Batman. I want to read about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With manga, a lot of the times, people have more of an interest in the writers and more of an interest in the stories. Not that the characters are not sold as well, but it's a big reason why they're a lot more comfortable to let their characters grow up.
It's like more
except for Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball does not like letting their characters grow up because they're the equivalent of like a comic book.
It's a rough comparison, but that sounds like it's more like mom books, where it's like the author is like what people are coming back for. Like there's a new like James Patterson book coming out. And you read that, so you'll read their stories because you like the author. You're not really in it for the characters.
Well, it's like because the author for a very big manga called Berserk, very huge.
Like I've heard that name, but I'm not a manga.
He died.
Oh, okay.
So before it was finished, so his best friend is now like, hey, he told me kind of his vision for the story, so I'm gonna write what's remaining. And it was like relatively recently started writing, and it's very like people are so super into that. And another one you probably heard of is Hunter x Hunter.
I've heard of that one.
The artist may have died, or they're very ill and going to die soon. And I believe it's either his wife or her husband. I'm not remembering, but they're taking over writing it.
The spouse.
Yeah, the spouse.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff like that where it's like I'm always super interested in what those artists are coming up with next, because like, oh, that was like for example, like Death Note is done.
Yeah.
There's no sequel. It's done.
Yeah.
They've made sequels, like short sequels and short stories. And I think it's wrapped up very well.
Yes, because we've been watching Death Note.
Yeah.
We're not done yet.
Yeah.
But I've
finished it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you've
a
seen
Death Note
it.
lover.
You've seen it a bunch.
Yeah. But yeah, that artist. I'm forgetting her name. But anyways, if I were to learn that she's making something new, which I don't believe, I think Death Note has kind of been her cash cow a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten so huge.
I mean,
But-
there was a Netflix adaptation. Like, I feel like
Yes.
once you got one of those through the door, you're pretty. You got the cash for you.
Yeah. No, there's they made their money, and no, that like I'm if they were like, hey, I'm writing something new, I'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta go read that. Same with Isayama for Attack on Titan. His thing wrapped up, and I think he's doing something new next year, but that could be completely wrong. So I
certainly get the author loyalty. Like, I'm really into I haven't read them all, so I say I'm really into them, but I haven't read them all. It's the Thrawn books, Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, I'm not to say that in the West there's not an author following. There certainly is.
Less in comic books. Like, I find like you'll have and go, and you'll be like, this person's Nightwing. Like, right now, Tom Taylor does Nightwing. He also does Titans. But it's Tom Taylor is the one doing it right now, and Tom Taylor is doing a really good job with the story. But I find for comic books in the West, people usually follow by artist, not by writer. Like, when I think about
artist, I didn't consider that.
So I've been reading Batman Superman World's Finest, and that's probably my favorite book right now. And that's a Dan Mora. Shout out Dan Mora, who will never see this. But he's an incredible artist.
Yeah. Because it's interesting you say that, because that might be the case in Japan too, because the authors are the artists.
Oh shit!
So that's a large reason why
they got to be able to do both.
Yes. There are some, like, if you've heard of One Punch Man.
I have, yeah.
I believe it's a different artist than the writer, because there's a webcomic where if you ever read the webcomic, the drawings are very, like, silly. They're very, like, not great. Well, they're better than I could draw.
Yeah.
But essentially the art you actually, like, you basically have, like, the rough draft and the final product. The rough draft is rough. The final product is gorgeous. Some of the art you will see. It's like that's the thing about like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like I look at some of Dan Mora's books, because I have the whole, like, that's what that white box up there is. That's comics.
Yeah.
It's not full.
One day.
One day. Well, because when I get a couple issues a month, it's gonna take a while.
That will
when they're like maybe when they're bagged and boarded to 2 millimeters.
Yeah.
That's pushing it. Actually.
I mean, if ever. Is it recording now?
Yeah, no, like, we're good. Yeah,
Right.
it's been recording.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, because we're all this talk about comic books, and I was like, oh, if all the computers break, like, you'll probably wind up aiming to be a comic book store. That's like your sort of.
Oh, certainly.
Like the not unrealistic, but like the unlikely dream job.
Yeah, like, if I'm not in doing the video game industry or whatever, I'd love to own a comic book store.
That's
certainly
great business though.
It would be great. They're not as common.
Yeah. In Nova Scotia or just nowadays?
Nowadays, just in general,
true.
they're not as common. Like, I know the one here in town
is closing.
It's not closing.
Oh.
Is it closing?
I thought that's what you told me.
No,
you were telling me there was some shit with them.
No, they're not closing. They just don't do a lot of business, because it's comic book store and it's also escape rooms. So they do more on the escape room side.
It's funny because I think she may have left, but Nina and I are supposed to do an escape room with the person who followed you.
Oh.
And their handsome, wonderful boyfriend.
Oh.
So yeah, that's our. It's funny you mentioned that. So maybe I'm getting ideas.
Yeah, I support a nice local business here in the niche. Yeah.
No,
but it's a really nice place. The guy who works there is really nice. They just don't sell as many comics anymore, because they just weren't selling comics, right? So he was like, they don't send me the comics anymore because I just wasn't selling enough. But
I mean, like, like, you can, why buy a physical copy? Unless, like, obviously people are like, oh, I want to support it, I want to have the physical copy. It's like, why buy a physical copy if you can just go watch, like, Comic Historian or someone like that to just tell the story to you, and then it's like, oh, I didn't read it, I listened to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things that is pretty rough about that industry.
Yeah.
So
it is. I'm gonna stop you there for a sec, Will, because I'm actually gonna go take a little bathroom break.
Fair enough.
Very quickly. So we're just gonna go on a quick little
pause the recording or break the
No,
stream?
we're just gonna go right for a break.
Oh, all right.
And we're back. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't remember where we are.
We were talking about. We talked about the comic book industry. We talked about the comic book shop here.
Yeah.
We then mentioned you opening one.
Mm-hmm.
We then talked about the escape room and how I was getting ideas. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, I suppose. But I suppose that's the difficulty with podcasts is the segues have to be kind of fluid.
Well, they were, but we've had multiple technical difficulties today.
Yeah, but they were fluid despite that.
Yeah,
This was not a technical difficulty. It was a
different kind of
digestive difficulty.
Digestive, yeah, digestive difficulty for sure.
Fair enough. I was told to show tits on stream, but I said no.
You know what, Will? I'm actually really, really happy you didn't do that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Did you actually? Let's talk about that. No, that's a weird thing, but did you hear? Like it was a little while ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But Twitch changed.
Nudity rules.
Yeah.
I do remember hearing about that.
They changed that.
You're allowed to show partial nudity or like look like you're naked, but they changed it back.
They changed it back very quickly. Like it was a good day.
Yeah, I was like, what were they thinking? It's kind of what.
Like
it's kind of where my head's at.
That was
dumb.
It's just a silly thing.
Yeah. That's how it.
So because like if that was the case, then like, because it is like one of the best platforms to monetize for streaming. So if people could be partially nude on it, like
advertisers do not love that.
No,
because they want to reach kids.
They do want to reach kids because you know who has the most money, or people who are worth giving the most money is parents. Yeah.
That's why YouTube Kids probably makes way more money than regular YouTube, but you don't get to comment.
No, it's true. It's almost better in a little way, unless you want to ask a question.
Yeah, it's like there's sort of a trade-off where it's like you're probably going to grow slower, but you're going to make more money if you do grow, being a kid.
Yeah, we should upload this on YouTube Kids.
Yo! After talking about shits.
Get your parents to buy Cocomelon. No, don't do that.
Watch Cocomelon. But yeah.
Subscribe to Dippy McSkippy. Subscribe to Dippy McSkippy.
Yeah, just do that over and over again and just be like, get your mother's credit card right now.
Dude,
and
there.
Get your mother's credit card.
Voice over Pete, yeah.
Turned out to be an asshole.
Yeah, he did.
But
Jesus, yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah, really a shame. It is a shame when people you think are
when people who are cool turn out to be not
they're
nice
just assholes. They end up being assholes.
Yeah.
And that's
because yeah.
Because like
I love that bit of just being like, Jonesy needs your help. He's surrounded, and he needs mats to build.
Like it's such a fun. It's so funny and it's satirical, but
yeah.
You know sometimes it isn't, and it's really sucks because he ended up being a bad guy, and then that's it. That's like the last you see of him, and it's a bad note that he ends on. But I like it like more recently where there's been more and more people who are just be like I'm done. And they leave on like a positive note.
Yeah, Matt.
Like Matt Pat. Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's sad, but I would rather.
But here's the thing. Yeah. Okay. So these technical difficulties are a real pain in the ass. We're just gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
But we were saying before this is the daily calendar, and you'll never guess what today is. Not the character. Sorry. Like there's like I don't want to call it a holiday.
What is today?
I'll give you 3 guesses as to what
Okay.
today is, and I don't want you looking at the calendar behind me.
Do I get a hint?
No.
The day?
Yeah, today is Saturday the 27th, right? That's fine. But there is it's not a holiday, but it's certainly a day of something.
Empire Day.
No, it's not Star Wars. It is real world.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And this is the note we're gonna end on today.
Muffin Day.
No, that's one guess. It is not Muffin Day.
Is it Is it food related?
No, it is not food related. It's an event. It's related to an event from the past.
It's not Star Wars. Is it war related?
Yes, very much so.
Is it D-Day?
No, it's not D-Day.
I don't know when D-Day is. Remembrance Day?
William, today is Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Oh!
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I was thinking about
Anyway, Bowcaster is what today is. Today is Bowcaster. That's Chewbacca with his bowcaster, and it says, Wookiees have long chosen the bowcaster, a handcrafted bow that mixes ancient craftsmanship and modern technology, as their main weapon. Bowcasters fire metal quarters enveloped in energy, packing more power and accuracy than the average blaster pistol. Chewbacca uses a bowcaster of unconventional design, which he crafted himself. Isn't that fun?
That's a great fact. It's a fun fact.
Yeah, it's a really fun fact, besides the unexpectedness of ripping that off and seeing Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Damn, why is Chewbacca who they chose for Holocaust Remembrance Day is what I want to know.
Well,
Because of the Wookiee lore, I know.
that's not what I was thinking. I was
Oh,
not thinking
what
of
were you thinking?
the Wookiee Holocaust. No, it was more of a no, it was a Wookiee Holocaust.
Yeah. Oops, notification. I wonder where it's from.
But Will, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
The next time you're on, there'll be no technical difficulties. That is not a promise; it's a hope.
Yep. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off to go make some pasta with my other roommate.
Oh, is that why you thought it was pasta day? I don't know.
I got pasta on the brain.
No, that's fair. That's a fair thing to have on the mind.
But yeah.
Well, yes, wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.